Krishna Krishna Hare 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 ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरकृष्णे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chapter 11, Universal Form, Vishwarup Darshan Yoga. Okay, 5 sections for the chapter. 1 to 8, Arjuna's request and Krishna's description of his universal form. 9 to 31 is Sanjay's description of Arjuna's vision. 30 to 34, Krishna says, time I am. You just become my instrument. 35 to 46, Arjuna's prayers. And 47 to 55, only pure devotees can see Krishna's two-armed form. 1 to 8. First verse. Arjuna uvacha mad anugrahaya paramam guhyam adhyatma sanyatam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Some adjustment is required. Okay, read the purpose. Natural mic. Yes. So first of all, Arjuna is appreciating the mercy he has received. Mad anugrahaya paramam. So, just to show me favor. So this is, Arjuna is accepting the fact that Krishna has been very merciful to him. And therefore he has spoken all what he has spoken till now. And as a result of that, so as a result of receiving Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam, so he received this knowledge about the most confidential spiritual subject matters. Yat Tvayoktam Vachastena. So as a result of these words, what has happened? Tena Moha Vigata. My moha, my illusion has been removed. Okay, so this is what happens when one receives spiritual knowledge, or this is what should happen. When one receives spiritual knowledge, the illusion should go away. What illusion? That is the basic illusion, that I am this body. And so that illusion should go away, and then one should feel grateful for what one has received. It's a very important quality of gratitude. Arjuna is expressing here. He is feeling grateful for the knowledge, very confidential knowledge that is received, as a result of which his illusion has been dispelled. But then Arjuna is not satisfied that his own illusion is dispelled. He also wants others' illusion to be dispelled. And so therefore, now we will see he will request Krishna to show his universal form. Now in the second verse, he is also recollecting some of the glories of Krishna, which he had heard in the previous chapters. Text 2. Bhavapyayo hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya vatta kamalapatraksha mahatmyam api chavyayam. O lotus-eyed one, I've heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity, and I've realized your inexhaustible glories. Okay, so he's saying, I've heard in detail about appearance and disappearance of the living entities and your glories. So Prabhupada is quoting from a previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagata Prabhava Pralaya Tatha. Which verse is that? Which chapter? Ah, 7 chapter 6 verse. Right. So there Krishna said that he's the source of appearance, discipline, atomic manifestations. And Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. So he's recollecting that how he has heard the glories of the Lord in the previous chapters. Text 3. Evam metad vatha tattvam atmanam parameshvara drashtum ichchami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Then the previous chapter, last verse. What does Krishna say? Ekam Shena Stito Jagat. So he says that I have entered into this universe in one of my plenary expansions, my one Amsha. So therefore here Arjuna, he wants to see that Amsha by which he pervades the entire universe. Please do this purpose. So here, Arjuna does not have any interest to see the universal form. He is satisfied. He already has declared what? Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. So he has understood Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he knows everything. He has realized everything. But now, as a Vaishnava, he wants to show benefit to others. And so therefore, for the sake of others, he's requesting Krishna to show the universal form. And also because Arjuna knew that in the future, especially in Kali Yuga, there would be many bogus avatars. So therefore, in order to distinguish Krishna, the original Supreme Lord, from all the bogus incarnations and to set a criterion, therefore he is requesting Krishna to show the universal form. And he's addressing Krishna as Purushottama because he says that you're Purushottama, you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you know everything. So the desire to see the universal form has also been created by you. I don't have desire. But this desire to see the universal form has also been created by you. Because ultimately Krishna wanted to show the universal form to set the criterion as to who is true incarnation, who is false incarnation. So therefore, Krishna only has created the desire. That is why he's addressing him as Purushottama. Okay? So two reasons why Arjuna asked to see the Vishwarup. First is to establish Krishna's divinity for all and to set a criterion to distinguish between true and false incarnations. Okay? Text 4. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtum iti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Okay, before that, let's read this. Okay, read. Okay, that's it. Fine. Okay. Okay, now read the purport to text 4. So here we find Manyase yadi tat shakyam. So Krishna, Arjuna is saying, if you think I am qualified to see, Manyase yadi. If you think I am qualified, then you show the universal form. If you think I'm not qualified, you may not show. It's all right. It's not ordering. They're saying, if you think I'm qualified, you show. So, therefore, he's addressing Krishna's Yogeshwara, because Krishna has the mystic powers to reveal so many different forms. So, the important statement here is, if the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. Good sentence to memorize. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the. Okay, so a small exercise on that statement. Okay, 3 questions. So what is meant by the term by the grace of the infinite? Why do you think this is logically true? That is first question. Second question is how this doctrine of grace could be misunderstood or misapplied. Okay, this is technically called as academic integrity, academic and moral integrity. That means understanding and applying the scripture as it is. That is called as academic and moral integrity. And the third question is, if one has the proper understanding of this concept of grace, then what will be the effect of that on the attitude and behavior? Understood? 3 questions. समझ आ गई कि नहीं? नहीं किसको समझ में आया? हाँ प्रांजल करो, बोलो क्या है? हाँ, so why grace is required? So one can understand only by the grace of the infinite. The finite can only understand by the grace of the infinite. Why? ठीक है? और दूसरा और तीसरा तो clear है ना? How it can be misunderstood, misapplied. And third is, if one has a correct understanding, what will be the effect on attitude and behavior? ठीक है, समझ आ गया? Okay. So form groups. हाँ? नहीं 3. 5 minutes. चलो जल्दी. हाँ छोड़ो उसको, छोड़ो. ज्यादा ही टेक्नोलॉजी हो गई. ये 4 लोग क्यों बैठे हैं आप? ये है ना, और वो महात्मा भी है. हाँ वो महात्मा आएंगे, तब तक आप दोनों काम करो, ठीक है ना? No grace. The mic does not have grace. Forget it. आप लोग थोड़ा आगे जाओ, थोड़ा आगे. वो सब ग्रुप्स मर्ज हो रहे हैं. Everything is not one. हो गया? Finish? अच्छा, ठीक है, 1 minute more. ठीक है, इनका चल रहा है. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's start from here. First question. What is meant by the term by the grace of the infinite? Why do you think this is logically true? Hmm? Okay. Okay, good point. Last group there. Any additional points for the same question? Hmm. 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 Okay, good point. Good. Next. Hmm. 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 Okay, good. Any additional points? Hmm. 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 Okay. So, okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Good points. Okay, fine. So, basic point is that by our own strength, by our own endeavor, it is not possible to understand the Supreme who is infinite. And my position is infinitesimal. Vibhu Anu. So therefore it's not possible. So therefore we require the grace of the infinite to understand. We saw in the 10th chapter, 2nd verse. What is 10th chapter, 2nd verse? Nate vidu surugana na maharshaya. So there Vishnu Thakur gave an example. What example? Why both the devatas as well as the great rishis, both of them cannot understand. Krishna is the source of both of them. So what is the example that he gives? देखो आप लोग कुछ नोट्स बनाते कि नहीं? सिर्फ देखते रहते हैं. Just like the son cannot understand the birth of the father until the father reveals. Okay, fine. Second question. Okay, let's begin from here. Second question. How this doctrine of grace can be misunderstood, misapplied? Doctrine of grace. Doctrine means the concept. We are not talking about that. The concept of grace, how that can be misunderstood or misapplied. Okay, this could be one misapplication. So one thinks that, okay, I have the grace of the Lord, so the Lord talks to me, reveals to me everything. So no guru is required. Okay, that could be one misapplication. Okay, next. Why? Yes. So one could become lazy, irresponsible, and so we find sometimes in preaching also we tell people, please come chant. What they say? Jai Bhagwan kripa karenge. So that's what then one can misapply and say that, okay, everything happens by grace, then no need to put any endeavor. Just depend on the grace. So that could be a misapplication. Okay, next. Okay. Right. Okay, that could be a misapplication. Yes, you cannot understand because you don't have my grace. Okay, how to refute that we will discuss soon. Okay, so one is thinking I have the grace, so I can do anything and everything. Okay, overestimating oneself. So yes, one can take risk on the basis of grace, but one should take calculated risk, not foolish risk. Yes, so if one thinks I have the Lord's grace. I can do anything, go anywhere and preach. Just like Nityananda Prabhu, I can go to the bars and liquor shops and anywhere I can preach because I'm empowered by the grace. So one could land trouble. Correct. Any other point? Misapplication? Hmm. Hmm. Or you can receive the grace only through me. So just like sometimes the Christians say, Jesus is the only way. So similarly, somebody could say, I am the only way to get the grace. So one could apply that. That's also correct. These things also happen. Anything else? Like electric shock. Yes. So that's also possible. Just touching the feet, or somebody says only by embrace, one will get the grace. So nothing else is required. Yes. Okay, so these are some of the ways in which it could be misunderstood, misapplied. And if one understands how will it have effect on the attitude and behavior, चलो कहाँ से पीछे से शुरू करना नहीं Okay, so one is always conscious that I'm dependent on the grace of the Lord, and it can be taken away. Okay, good point. नहीं नहीं उन दोनों का टर्न हो गया अभी आप पे. So why he'll feel like that? Okay, so one is feeling dependent on the grace. So one cannot force somebody to give the grace. So one can only beg. So if just like a beggar, he can't force a millionaire to give a donation of 1 lakh rupees. Correct? He can only beg. Beggar can only beg. So therefore, understanding that we are so insignificant, then we can only beg for the grace. So yes, one has that attitude. Okay. हाँ बोलो. हाँ बोलो. ग्रेस के भी कॉज है. Okay. Okay. So again, point of dependence. Kripa. Depends. Okay, the advancement of A person depends upon, no, what is that? Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the followers. वही समझना है, क्या एटीट्यूड में हो, क्या चेंज होगा. Okay, good point. Attitude of gratitude. Why? What is the connection to grace? Okay, so if one receives the grace, then one will feel grateful. So one understands that the grace is all, whatever I'm able to do is by grace. So therefore, then one feels grateful. Without that grace, one cannot speak, one cannot eat, one cannot talk, nothing one can do. So when one understands that, one feels grateful. Correct. So we find this example very prominent in all the lives of the acharyas. So we find how Srila Prabhupada, he felt so grateful and he was feeling so dependent in his famous poem, Markine Bhagavad Dharma. So we see how Srila Prabhupada is thinking himself totally unqualified, and he's saying, my dear Lord, if you give me the words by which these people's hearts can change, then only it will be possible. So therefore, when one realizes that I'm totally dependent, then one prays to the Lord for the grace, because one understands that one is totally dependent. And of course, there are all those pastimes of Srila Prabhupada in the Radha Damodar temple, Srila Prabhupada going to Shantipur. So all those pastimes are there. We see how Srila Prabhupada, he was intensely praying for the grace, because he understood that the task at hand is very difficult. And it's not possible by my own effort. As Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Dushkaram Sukram Bhavet. What is very difficult can also become very easy by the grace. Otherwise, without that mercy, what is ordinarily very simple will also become very difficult. And then similarly, we find how even Shukdev Goswami, as he begins to answer the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, in the second canto, 4th chapter, we find that Shukdev Goswami first of all offers a series of prayers glorifying the Lord. And then finally he says, my dear Lord, just like you have entered into all the elements, kindly enter into my words, decorate my words so that I can speak appropriately. So we find that how the acharyas, they always feel dependent. And even when Srila Prabhupada lecturing on the Kapidwaja, first chapter, what he says? We discussed this. So, the Prabhupada commenting on that, he says, so here Arjuna is praying to the previous warrior Acharya, Hanumanji. So this is the nature of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava always thinks himself helpless and dependent on the previous Acharya. And similarly, Rupa Goswami, as he's writing the Nectar of Devotion, this comes in the introduction, 6th verse of the introduction. Srila Rupa Goswami is again considering himself totally unqualified to write the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and is praying to the previous acharyas. So there also Srila Prabhupada writes that this should be the attitude of all the preachers in the Krishna consciousness movement. They should always consider themselves incapable, but totally dependent on the mercy of the previous acharya. So you find a constant theme in the lives of all the acharyas. So then, when one has this proper understanding, then another important effect on the attitude and behavior is that there is no question of becoming proud. When one becomes proud, yes, when one thinks, I can do everything myself, I can do great things, then one becomes proud. But when one understands that without the grace, what can I do? And we already told you that story about the cook's assistant who put the peas on Ekadashi. We told, no? Kya bol rahe? The cook who was cooking the sabji on Ekadashi, and then the assistant, he put peas. Matar. नहीं? ठीक है कलयुग memory. I told, no? See on. ठीक है. Okay, anyway, we already said it. So there was this, in one big festival in the US, there was, on one of the days it was an Ekadashi, and the cook was cooking this big quantity of Ekadashi sabji, and Ekadashi sabji is usually quite colorless. There's no haldi, nothing. So the cook had to go out to get something for a few minutes. He told his assistant to stir. And when the assistant, he was looking at the sabji, oh no, color looks too bland. He opened the fridge and he found a huge pack of matar, peas, green peas. It was very nice. And then he put the whole thing in the sabji. And he was very happy. आप क्या करोगे ऐसा होगा तो? शिवराम गुरु, टाइम ही नहीं है, क्या करोगे? अरे, and so many senior devotees are there. उतने में सबका सब कुछ हो जाए. So anyway, so there was no option for this person, and then he announced before the prasadam was served, he announced that, so we request all devotees today when the sabji is served, please pick out the piece and keep to the side. So anyway, the point is that the cook could be the most expert cook in the universe. So just like you are very expert, correct? ठीक है, जो भी है. But even if one could be the most expert cook, most expert manager, most expert singer, whatever it may be, but if Krishna decides to humble someone, how much time it will take? Just like in one place, they organized a huge youth festival, big pandal and so many guests, this, that. The night before, there was a huge storm and the pandal was broken to pieces. Who can control the wind? So they had to cancel it for the day. So if anytime one thinks that, oh, I'm great, I can do big things, in one moment Krishna can smash all the things. So therefore, either one voluntarily becomes humble or one will be humbled. course, staying in brahmacharya ashram, everyone has experience. Somebody is there to humble. So the point is that, therefore, if one understands this concept that I'm dependent on the grace of the Lord, one will automatically be humble. And one will always feel dependent. And one will not be proud, arrogant, aggressive. So all these demoniac qualities will reduce. But then there must be not only just a theoretical understanding, but some realization that I'm dependent. Theoretically, one could speak, but unless there is some realization, one will not be able to put it into practice. But when one has that realization, then, or to the degree one has that realization, to that degree there'll be humility. And therefore we find that the greatest of the acharyas, another example we forgot to mention, is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, epitome of humility. So we find these great acharyas have full realization of that dependence, and therefore they're able to exhibit that humility to such great degrees. So here also we find Arjuna is very humbly expressing, if you think I'm qualified, you can show. Okay. Any questions on the discussion? Good. Huh? Oh. Actually, that's going to come a little ahead. Okay, text 5. Now the Lord begins to answer Arjuna's request. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasrashaha Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Vanna Kudini Cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms. So now, in the first few verses, Krishna speaks what Arjuna will be seeing. Here he is not yet showing. He is telling him what he is going to see. Okay? And then he actually shows. But here, till the 7th verse, he is just describing what he is going to see. So he's saying here, now see now. Now very soon you'll be seeing my opulences. Hundreds of thousands of very divine multicolored forms. Okay, Prabhupada is describing the universal form in the purport. Read. लाइन में पढ़ो, लाइन में कौन पढ़ रहा है? Okay, so this is a very nice, precise description of the universal form. So the universal form, which although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and not manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other form. So, just like the universe is temporary, the universal form is also temporary. So, the universal form is Krishna's form manifesting as the universe. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Avyakta murtina. Unmanifested form. So there's a form. So Krishna is spread throughout the jagat. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat. So Krishna is manifested throughout the universe in a form, which of course is described in details in the second canto of the Bhagavatam, that how there are the different planets which are represented by the different parts of the Lord's body. So the lower planetary systems are on his legs and so on and so forth. So the entire universe is represented in the universal form. Okay. But since the universe is temporary and the universal form is a representation of the universe, therefore universal form is also temporary. There is no eternal Vaikuntha where the universal form stays. But still, because it is Krishna's form representing the universe, therefore it is transcendental. Because it is Krishna's form, therefore it is transcendental. So to explain this, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the deity. So is the deity material or spiritual? How do you say it is spiritual? With what it's made? So then how it is spiritual? Okay. So you cannot see matter, but so then it's made of a material element. So how do you say it is spiritual? Why? Functionality is spiritual. Okay. This is total Virodhabhas. Element is matter, form is spiritual. Means what? It is made of matter. So you also have two hands. You hold a flute. A. No, but the point is, it is made up of material elements. Okay, that is one point. Okay, so the pure devotee invites the Lord to the side. And what is the other analogy Prabhupada gives to explain this? Okay, that post office example is there to show that it is authorized. It is authorized form. But to explain this concept that though it is made up of material elements, it is still spiritual. What is the analogy? Yes. Explain. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's right. Yes. So just like electricity, it's one thing, electricity. So therefore, the electrician can use the electricity for either heating or cooling. So similarly, from Krishna's viewpoint, whatever is material, spiritual, doesn't make a difference because they're all Krishna's energies. So therefore, Krishna can change matter into spirit and spirit into matter. So even though they are material elements, but then they can be spiritualized. And so therefore, yes, it's the deity is definitely a spiritual form, but it's made up of material elements. So similarly, the universal form is representing the universe, so therefore it is made up of material elements, but yet when Krishna shows the universal form, it is spiritual, transcendental. ठीक है, समझ आ गया? हाँ. Correct. Correct. To explain this, Srila Prabhupada gave another analogy. What is that? Iron rod put in fire becomes. Why you don't say it becomes fire? It becomes fiery. That means it acts like fire. It doesn't become fire, but it acts like fire. Same point. So when you say the mic becomes spiritualized or the deity is spiritualized, the elements of the deity are spiritualized, what does it mean? It does not mean that this turns into spiritual elements. The elements are material, but it acts spiritually. All right. Okay, so that's the similar relation between the similar understanding of the universal form. Okay. And of course, you'll see in other purports of the Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada, at some places, not in Bhagavatam, I think so later on in this very chapter, actually, in this very chapter, in another purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the universal form is material, it is temporary, it is imaginary. So then that's also correct, because then it depends on from which viewpoint you look at it. So both the aspects are correct. Okay, text 6. O best of the Bharata, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumars, and all the other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. So this is, again, he's describing what all he's going to see in the universal form. He's going to see all these many wonderful things. And he says that this is something which no one has ever seen or heard of before. So was the universal form ever shown before? Duryodhan, and anybody else? Okay. Acha, theek hai. Not, we are asking before. Mother Yashoda. So then why Krishna here is saying this has never been seen or heard? Correct. So as we will see later on, this universal form is very special. Kala Rupa. And the specific purpose. So that we'll see later on. But this particular form of, or this particular aspect of the universal form was never shown before. So therefore Krishna is saying no one has ever seen. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything, moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. So the entire universe, Krishna is showing in one place. And Prabhupada is saying, even the most advanced scientists cannot. So what can the scientists see? The Prabhupada's always challenge. Even though they may see through microscopes and telescopes, even those instruments are defective. So what can they see? But here, Arjuna sitting in one place is seeing the entire universe. Just a minute. Okay, text 8. Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva swachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshu pashyame yogam aishwaram. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. So here Krishna is telling, Divyam dadami te chakshu. I'm going to give you divine eyes. Because you cannot see with your present eyes. Natumam shakyase drashtam. You cannot see with your present eyes. Therefore, I'm going to give you dadami. I'm going to give you divine eyes. So now, the Acharyas explain, as we will see. But before we read that, I'll just tell you what he's going to say. So he says that there are three types of vision. One is ordinary material vision. Charma shakshu, material eyes. Then second type of vision is the divine vision, which Krishna is talking about here. Or you can also say it is the vision by which one can see the opulent form of the Lord. And the third level is transcendental vision. So three types of vision. So now Arjuna, he has which type of vision? He has transcendental vision because he is directly seeing whom? Krishna in the Shyam Sundar form, he's seeing directly. So he already has the topmost transcendental vision. And so therefore, Arjuna is actually not at all interested in seeing what is lower. So this universal form that he's going to show is on a lower platform. So therefore, Arjuna is least interested. Therefore, we already saw that. It is Krishna only who creates the desire within Arjuna's mind to request Krishna to show this form. So now, when Krishna says, Divyam dadami te chakshu, I'll give you this divya chakshu, then actually what is Krishna doing? He's downgrading his vision. He's downgrading his vision. And as far as the other people are concerned, if they need to see the universal form, then their vision has to be upgraded. All right? Okay, so this Vishwanath Thakur explains in his commentary. Okay, read. So the form is Satchidananda. It appears. Okay. So Arjuna already, as an associate of the Lord, he had spiritualized. But now what he is giving is Divya Chakshu, by which he can see the majestic form of the Lord. So this is the majestic form of the Lord, his Aishwarya, how he is spread throughout the universe. So that is what he's going to give. Devalila means this the Lord's pastimes in relation to the universe. So this is Devalila, because it is the Devatas who are managing this universe, and Krishna is he is showing this form by which he spreads out this universe. So therefore, it is Devalila. It's Aishwarya form. Okay. Okay, so this is a Vasudev form. But anyway, Vasudev form also is, okay, but then here is two-handed. Here is two-handed, no? So therefore, Krishna can manifest in any form. So technically, yes, the Shyamsundar form never leaves Vrindavan. It is the Vasudeva form. But just like Krishna appeared to Vasudeva and Devaki, in which form? Four-handed form. And then what happened? He changed it to two-handed form. The same Vasudeva Krishna initially appeared as four-handed, then he changed to two-handed. So Lord can do anything. Not much difference. What's that? Previous line. So Arjuna was thinking himself to be an ordinary person, and so therefore he is requesting Arjuna, he is requesting Krishna, please show your universal form. So he is requesting as if he's an ordinary person. But actually Arjuna is not an ordinary person. He is so elevated that he is actually able to directly see the form of the Lord. So therefore, then the Lord says, no, I'll give you this divine vision. And so Arjuna, by seeing this universal form, then he gets astonished. He's put in wonder and bewilderment, as we will see. So this is one chapter where Sanjay speaks quite a lot. In fact, I think so he speaks the maximum in this chapter. So now, so Arjuna is seeing the universal form, but then Sanjay is also seeing how? Yes, by Vyasa's mercy, he's also able to see, and he's describing that to Dhritarashtra. Okay, so now there's not much purport in this. It's just a description of the universal form, the darshan that he's having. So I'll just read translations, and then if there's something to comment, we'll comment. Okay. Swapnil Bro can begin. 9th verse. Okay, so you can see in this verse, Aneka Vaktra Nayanam, Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divya Bharam. Okay, so everything is Aneka, many, many, many. And there is Divya Malya Ambaradharam, Divya Gandhano Lepanam. So the universal form is beautifully decorated with many celestial ornaments and all that. So if you hear Srila Prabhupada's conversations on the morning walks on Juhu Beach with Dr. Patel, so they would read some chapters of the Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada would comment in between. So I think so they read the 10th chapter also. Yes, 10th chapter also they read, then the 11th chapter also they read. And so, and Prabhupada is commenting, and Dr. Patel seemed to have some impersonal tendencies. And so we find that Srila Prabhupada would very often smash the impersonalist Mayavadis in these conversations. So now here Prabhupada is taking a chance to smash the impersonalist. Read. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so that's the point he's making. So even in the universal form, which is supposed to be an impersonal form, spread all over the universe, even there is a form. Therefore, here there's a description of beautiful ornaments and garlands and all that. So obviously there's a form. And therefore, in the 9th chapter also, Avyakta Murtina. It's an unmanifested form. So basically that's referring to the universal form there. There's a form. Okay, go ahead. 12. Okay, so here he's giving, as Prabhupada says, what Arjuna saw was indescribable. Yet Sanjay is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjay nor Dhritarashtra was present, but Sanjay, by the grace of Vyas, could see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an imaginable phenomenon. There is thousands of suns. Divi Surya Sahasrasya. Thousands of suns. Just imagine. One sun, can you look at one sun? And here, thousands of suns. That was the effulgence of this universal form. Just imagine. Can't imagine. Okay, text 13. Okay, so here Prabhupada says the word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot when Arjuna saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjuna. Later on we will see, he mentions that whoever got the vision could see. Arjuna could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. Okay, so there was Arjuna and Krishna were sitting on the chariot, and then Krishna was showing the universal form. So Arjuna could see only the universal form. He could not see Krishna in the two-handed form. Yes, Krishna was there in two-handed form, but Arjuna could not see because Krishna covered himself so that Arjuna's attention is focused on the Vishwarup. Others will be distraction. Oh, this Krishna, that Krishna. So therefore, the two-handed form was covered and he could only see the universal form. Next. So this 14th verse is known as a verse representing Rasa Sandhi. Here the Rasa relationship of Arjuna with Krishna is changing. So here we can see that tatasa vismayat avishto, vismaya avishto. So being overwhelmed with wonder. As Prabhupada writes, once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship, but here after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances, great respect, and with folded hands is praying to Krishna, is praising the universal form. So later on, in the second paragraph of the purport, he says, here Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder, adbhutaras. And in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His head stood up and he began to offer his obeisance and Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder that the Sakyaras got covered by Adbhutaras. The Sakyaras is always there. The Sakyaras is not destroyed. Therefore, he says what? The loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder. It got covered by the Adbhutaras. Okay, so therefore, those are secondary rasas. The primary rasas are always there, but the secondary rasas get added on to the primary rasas. So the primary rasa of Sakya is there, but then there is an overwhelming Adbhuta ras. So here that relationship changes. And then is offering prayers from the next verse. Continue. Next. Next. Vamana. Different vision is going. Next. Okay, so here you can see it's quite a terrible scene. First of all, there's an effulgence of thousands of suns, and then there is fire coming out from the mouths. How many mouths are there? Unlimited, thousands of mouths, and fire is coming out. It's as if the entire universe is ablaze. Very terrible thing. And you'll see more terrible things. So here Prabhupada says, it said that at a time of bewilderment or wonder or of great ecstasy, statements are repeated over and over. That is not a flaw. Okay, so some things are repeated. Okay, next. See here, Prabhupada makes this point. It appears that not only did Arjuna see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Okay, so as he's saying over here. But they are devatas, no? They already have the vision. The devatas already have the vision, so therefore they are able to see. And then another statement Prabhupada writes, all whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield. So in the upper planetary systems, Devatas definitely saw. And even on the battlefield, all whom the Lord gave that vision, especially the devotees, all of them could see. Yes, like Bhishma Dev and all, they could see. Yes, you will see now how fearful it is. Very fearful. Next, 21. So as in the purport, he says, the demigods and all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and his glaring effulgence, and so prayed for protection. So they were so fearful of this form. When next. Okay, so first of all, there's flames coming out of the mouth. On the other hand, there are also terrible teeth, big teeth from the mouth. Huh? Some asuras also could see yakshas, asuras. All these are in the higher planetary systems. So they also have the vision. Anyway, not so easy. Okay, text 24. Okay, so blazing, death-like faces, awful teeth. So this is all Kala Rupa. Go ahead. Okay, so you can just imagine the mouths are gaping wide open, fire is coming out, there are big teeth, and all the soldiers are rushing into the mouths, rushing. And what is this universal form doing? Crushing the head. See the last line of the 27th verse. Sandrishyante churniteir uttamangei. Uttama anga means what? The head. And what is happening? Churna. You know churna? Ayurvedic churna. So the heads are becoming smashed into churna. And you can just imagine how much blood must be flowing. So there's fire and blood and so it's very terrible form. Arjuna is totally bewildered, saying this form is so fearful. And as Prabhupada writes in the purport, that now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and their soldiers, Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. So that is what Krishna wanted to show, that all these people are going to be killed and he's going to be victorious. So Bhishma, Karna, everyone is going to be smashed. 28. Now he's giving two analogies to explain how all the soldiers are rushing into the mouth. Read 28, 29. blazing into your 29. Read, you only read. Okay, 30. One. So here Arjuna is so bewildered seeing this form, he's asking two questions in this verse. What are the two questions? Who are you and what is your mission? See, he cannot recognize this is the same Krishna, his friend, because the form has changed so terribly, he can't recognize. So therefore, who are? And what is your mission? Okay, and that he replies in the next. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Samil Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.